Fires on the Plain is the 2014 released anti-war proclamation from director Shin'ya Tsukamoto, who is perhaps best known for his earlier career frenetic movie style with films such as Tetsuo the Iron Man and Tetsuo 2 the sequel, along with Tokyo Fist. Here we get an older, wiser and more mature filmmaker in the prime of his career. A full-on human drama about Japanese soldiers based in the Philippines at the end of World War II. Specifically, the story follows the startling tale of survival during the horrors of war in an unforgiving jungle environment. Based on the true events from the novel by SHOHEI OOKA and developed from the screenplay of the director Shin'ya Tsukamoto himself. This is a powerful portrayal of the overwhelming effects on man during wartime, and his greatest threat is not that of his enemy, but of his own body, mind and spirit, tested to the extreme. Shin'ya Tsukamoto also takes the lead role of one such traumatized Japanese soldier, Private Tamura, who when we are first introduced to is suffering from exhaustion and has tuberculosis. He is ordered to the ramshackle field hospital set up a ways off from base camp in the Filipino jungle, but gets sent away by the barely qualified site doctors. He has no option other than to then return back to his platoon camp, but upon doing so is immediately ordered back to where he had just come from, or to kill himself rather than return again in a useless state. So then the scenario and plight of Private Tamura is set, and the tale of just one such Japanese soldier plays out in the wretched conditions of war, a war that is being lost, and the morale of the men has been turning them into less than human shells of themselves, and reverting them back to the basest of animalistic nature, doing anything for the taste of a simple herbaceous yam or a sip of water, including turning upon each other. Tamura returns to the makeshift hospital only to soon after witness it destroyed by fire as an enemy airstrike finds its mark. Tamura survives, but most all around him are literally cut in half in realistically bloody fashion or burned alive. Tamura's tale truly plays out from this point as he wanders off back into the jungle alone. Thoughts of his family back home keep him going, but utterly exhausted, barely able to forage for sustaining food or water, night and day, just wondering. He knows that his time in this life shall surely soon come to pass. He stumbles through and upon a small, desolated village with dead bodies piled up upon each other, left to rot in the humidity and become pickings for the starving wild dogs in the area. Here though, Tamura finds some small supplies, enough to give him some small sustenance to carry on, until he stumbles upon a small band of fellow soldiers, each also struggling to keep it together. Fires on the Plain is a consummate guerrilla-style filmmaking at its very best. A brutal, bloody and uncompromising piece of work, as passionately realised by Shin'ya Tsukamoto as likely the writings upon which it is based. This is unquestionably a very sombre and personal drama, but one also essential in its being, as it is a shocking documentation of the horror and futility of war. And as Tsukamoto intends, is a reminder to the entire human race that there can and must never be a World War III. The movie is strewn with visual imagery that purposefully intends to startle and shock its audience awake and into mentally indoctrinated action as to relay the shocking realities of war between man and nations. Petrified, rotting bodies with maggots eating away at flayed flesh, blackened by the jungle heat, and rancid rain emulsifying the blood, meld with the surrounding topography. In-camera practical effects, all too realistic in design, bring about regular dismemberment as limbs are lost and people's brains are spilled out in equal measure. The movie has factually zero CGI effects at all. Every single thing you see on screen is natural or created by an artisan crew of volunteers that Shin'ya Tsukamoto brought on board for this incredible project in filmmaking. War is hell, and Fires on the Plain is one hell of a movie. A landmark film of memorable and indeed stark realism that needs to be experienced. A 7.5 out of 10 viewing engagement that will stun near all who see, but its relevance is one of great importance, particularly for the generation of today and the future, who may have little or no understanding of what the horrors of war truly bring about, and the decades of post-war trauma, shame and personal hell that stays with all directly involved. Fires on the Plain will leave an indelible mark long after viewing. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.